you do not want to miss. In fact, I barely.
Well, maybe you should learn about it if you're using it.
I know PhDs. This exchange, this guy Rilo crashes hard. I mean, he comes in. He knows that there's prophecy fulfilled from Isaiah. He knows Jesus fulfilled the healing of the blind and the deaf and the lame and the.
I can hear it, but it's a waste of time because we're here.
It is a waste of time. And like only thinks this is the only time in history anyone's ever done miracles like this, not even having the slightest clue about all of the miracles that Asclepius performed. Justin from Deconstruction Zone, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He joined me on this live stream. We're going to do more of these. We had like 550 people turn out last night. It was fantastic. But this guy Rilo crashes at the end so much that he starts to lie. He's so emotional that he starts to lie and saying things about Bart Ehrman. You don't want to miss it. Check it out. Like the video. Share it with a friend. Comment down below your thoughts. Can't wait to hear from you. Let me know what you're thinking about me doing more of these because that was a blast. All right. So I saw Rilo. I'm happy. Let me kick your other version out. Okay, there you go. Okay. We're going to bring our guest on. You ready?
Let's have it.
Awesome. Rilo, good to meet you.
Hey, what's up, dudes? Thanks for having me. I'm a Christian, and I wanted to direct you to Isaiah 35:5. If you have
Cool.
Somebody could read that.
Yes, we'll pull it up. Did you want to share the screen, Justin? Or
oh, yep, I gotcha. Yep, let me grab it right here.
You're probably so used to it already on your system.
Yeah. Okay, so Isaiah 35:5 is interesting. We're pretty familiar with this one. We'll read it out for you, and then we're probably going to read a little bit extra. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be opened. Then the lame shall leap like a deer, the tongue of the speechless sing for joy. For water shall break forth in the wilderness, and streams in the desert. The burning sand shall become a pool, and the thirsty ground springs of water. Haunts of jackals shall become a swamp, and the grass shall become reeds and rushes. A highway shall be there, and it shall be called the Holy Way. The unclean shall not travel on it, but it shall be for God's people. No traveler, not even fools, shall go astray. No lion shall be there, nor shall any ravenous beast come upon it. They shall not be found there, but the redeemed shall walk there. So this is a pretty famous passage, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you think verse 5 and 6 are talking about Jesus because he healed people?
Well, yeah, if you could just now real quickly match Isaiah 35:5 and interlink that with John, if you can open John 9:32, and just it's a quick statement of record, a historical record.
But we're not disputing that the New Testament claims that Jesus healed people.
But so this isn't just like, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Never since the world began has it been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a person born blind. But that's certainly not true, actually. There's a case in Tacitus Antonius where Emperor Vespasian heals the eyes of a blind man using spit and the power of Serapis.
So I'm not familiar with that, but I'm in medicine, so we know that biologically and in the internal operating system, if the optic nerve is dead, there's like no ability to regenerate that tissue. So based on like medicine, modern medicine, and the understanding that we have, there's absolutely, it's impossible to reinstate this function when it's lost. So I know you're making that claim, but we're talking that might be a little bit from like an outside space. What I wanted to just focus on here is that Isaiah 35 was before Christ. It was talking about something very defined, and it has parameters. They're talking about opening the eyes of the blind, and then in John 9:32. This Jewish person, from what I read, is claiming never in like the history of their understanding has anybody with this condition, with blindness, ever been able to see again. So that's this isn't like a general like healing. This is very particular. And it's specific and complex information, which puts you guys in a kind of like on the defensive to explain this.
Oh, no, it's not hard at all. You want my explanation?
Well,
I'm more than happy to
yeah, I
give it to
want to
you.
hear
Okay,
for
so
sure.
I don't think Isaiah 53 has anything to do with the Messiah healing people's eyesight. It's clearly about the return of the exiles to Jerusalem, which is why the Bible Publication Society, whoever did the NRSV, I forget the name of the society, just labeled it as such. Right? It says the wilderness and the dry land shall be glad, the desert shall rejoice and blossom, like the crocus it shall become abundantly. I'm sorry, it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice with joy and shouting. The glory of Lebanon shall be given to it, and the majesty of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of the Lord and the majesty of our God. It talks about how the land is going to be entirely restored. This is what's supposed to happen when God comes to redeem the exiles and bring them back to the land, specifically the ones that are coming back from the Babylonian exile, right? That's why it says he will come with vengeance, with terrible recompense. He will come and save you. Well, yeah, because he's freeing them from Babylonian exile and bringing them back to the land, a land that's going to be completely restored. That's why the majority of this verse is talking about the land. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast will come upon it. They shall not be found there, but the redeemed will walk there. This is an interesting thing because, like, this is a real legitimate prophecy that's like waiting to be happened, and none of it's happened. I understand that if you're a Christian, you want to point to verse 5 and be like, verse 5 means this entire prophecy's been fulfilled. But this prophecy is not really just about a dude coming along and healing blindness. This is about the people of God being ransomed from Babylonian exile and coming back to Zion with singing and everlasting joy in their heads, which certainly couldn't be related to Jesus. When Jesus was here, his people got scattered.
So there's a big problem with your bias. It's a very Jewish bias that you have.
No, it's not.
Because if you can give me descriptions of people who were lame, mute, deaf, and blind upon these occurrences or these events in Judaism and their records, then you might have something. But the very particular
I don't think you understand my argument.
information here.
Do you understand my
Yes,
argument?
I do.
Milo?
But you're moving. Yes, you're moving into.
Do me a favor and kind of repeat what you think my argument is, because I sense you don't get it.
You're.
Did he break up?
The Lord took him? What happened?
Rilo, you broke up. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe he'll pop back in I'd like to finish that before we move to our next guest. Yeah, I was thinking too, the other thing that's absent from that Isaiah text is that John doesn't say, or Isaiah doesn't say they were born blind. Okay. So what's John up to? And anyway, I just did a little search while you were doing that. There's some critical scholars who actually think John is intentionally amping up the miracle, likely in conflict with the Asclepius miracles of old. One of the pools at Bethsaida, was a pool that often was attributed to the miracles of Asclepius, where the lame man who can't get in the waters and waits for the wind to blow the water so they can heal him. But we didn't get our chance to do that. Oh, Rilo,
I think he's back.
Okay, here we go. Rilo.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. I'm driving home from work. I'm hands free, but I don't know what happened. The phone dropped and I lost you. Sorry. So can I just continue real quick, and then I'll let.
Sure.
Stillman Justin's view, please, if you don't mind.
No, what I'm saying is his historical account is missing data, in particular specific data information that's very important and critical here. And that is, he's talking about a geographic land, okay, the healing. He's associating it with real events. But the data is missing about the health and possibilities that occurred. I'm telling you to give me data of these medical impossibilities occurring during those events. If you can do that,
during what events?
You can show me the event that you're describing in ancient Hebrew history.
No, I think you're confused.
That's why Justin was asking you to Stillman, because go ahead.
Yeah,
Justin.
Yeah, exactly. You don't understand my position. I'm not saying that this prophecy was fulfilled. I'm saying that the plain reading of this text is clearly a prophecy that was not fulfilled and will never be fulfilled because this God doesn't exist.
So, but I just showed you John 9:32. This is a historical account of the enemies of Christ.
It's adorable that you think that fulfilled it, but unfortunately, the text of Isaiah 35 says more than just some blind people will see again. There's a whole list of requirements in this prophecy, and Jesus didn't fulfill any of them. In fact, when Jesus was around, he did the opposite.
Because no, he did the absolute all those four medical impossibilities: the lame walking, the deaf hearing, the blind seeing, and the mute speaking. All four only he has done in history. There's no accounts.
Well, again,
so you're missing.
Yeah,
so
you weren't listening.
You have the data.
You weren't listening to Derek. Again, these aren't things that haven't been recorded with other people. It's been recorded with a bunch of other people, but that's missing. Hold on, Rilo. That's missing the point.
That's just a claim. That's just a claim.
I will prove it. My point here is that the prophecy itself could not have been fulfilled by Jesus because there's stuff in here that opposes even the story of Jesus. So you can't just, hold on, you can't just pick one verse out of a whole chapter and call it completed and then ignore the rest of the chapter. There's a whole list of things that are included in this prophecy that Jesus didn't do. And in fact, the opposite thing happened when he was here, namely what we find in verse 10. The ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to Zion with singing. Everlasting joy shall be upon their heads. Again, Isaiah prophesies on like 9 different occasions that the Babylonian exiles are going to be coming back to Israel. They're going to be restored to the land.
So that's not our understanding of what you're looking through a very Jewish bias. You don't have an understanding of what. Yes,
I'm not
your
Jewish.
Bias is, but your bias is in the reading of this text.
My bias is that when a text gives you 5 different requirements for a prophecy, it doesn't come true because you fulfilled one of them.
No, it's not one. It's 4 medical impossibilities. 4, and you have it, and literally.
Well, again, there's only 2.
2 what?
There's only 2 listed in verse 5. It says the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the. Do you want me to read the text to you or not? Do you want me to read the text or not? There you go. Dude. The eyes of the blind shall be opened, the ears of the deaf shall be opened, the lame shall leap. That part of the first 2, okay? If you're blind and deaf, you're lame. The tongue of the speechless.
No, that's not true.
Hold on.
They mean paralysis.
Do you want me to read your book to you or not? Okay, then the lame shall leap like a deer, and the tongue of the speechless will sing for joy. So you've got lame people. Lameness manifests itself in multiple ways. The last way is that the tongue of the speechless, meaning those who can't actually speak, the mute. So you've got mute people, you've got deaf people, and you've got blind people. All of them count as lame people. And what I'm suggesting,
I'm in medicine.
Riley, I'm sure you are in medicine. All you need is basic English.
Just don't make claims about medicine that you don't know. Just move on to the next topic.
Do you want me to give you the dictionary definition of lame?
Lame has to do with neurological function. It's not. It doesn't have to do with specific senses.
Lame typically refers to an inability to function. So, for example, if a leg is broken on an animal, it becomes lame. It's not functional anymore.
Yes, not the eye or the ear.
There you go.
Those are deaf and blind patients.
Lameness can manifest in multiple ways. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that these aren't like really cool miracles. All right. This is not important to the argument. None of this rests on the definition of lame.
It's very important.
No, it's not. Nothing about what we're doing rests on the definition of the word lame. What I'm suggesting is that the entire chapter is laying out a picture of what's going to happen. What you've done is you've selected only 2 verses in the entire chapter, and then you're just claiming that it came true while ignoring the rest of the verses. So my question is,
can I talk now?
When do the rest of the verses come true?
Hold on. You said I'm claiming they came true. I just showed you that the enemies of Christ and Christians, the Jewish people at that time, especially the Pharisees, they just said They just made the claim. Based on historic, like on a real-time event, based on real data, they said, we have never seen anyone open the eyes of the blind before.
Buddy, you're
except
missing the
Jesus.
point
So-
here. We're not talking
hold
about
on,
what
hold
the
on.
New Testament says yet. I'm asking
So-
you about the entire prophecy. What I'm asking
But
you is,
you don't have the
giving-
authority to interpret that.
I do, and now I have the authority to mute you. I do have the authority. Between you and I, only one of us has an actual degree in this field of study. So what I'm saying is, you've got an entire chapter of prophecy. You can't just say the prophecy is fulfilled because 2 verses in the chapter sound like something that somebody fulfilled later on. I'm asking you about the rest of the chapter. Did Jesus fulfill the rest of the chapter or just these 2 verses?
You can't get past this point. This point destroys your worldview, because
It actually
this
isn't
right
a
here,
point yet. I'm waiting for you to answer my question
Yeah,
so we can move on to the New Testament. So again, we can't move on to the New Testament until you understand the Old Testament context. So again, I will ask you, is the entirety of this chapter
No, but
fulfilled or only the 2 verses that you like?
your interpretation of what's occurring there has
I
to do with
asked you
Jewish
a simple question
bloodline.
and I need an answer
We don't
to
believe.
it.
Yeah, I'm
Has
saying
the
no. It
entirety
has been
of this
fulfilled.
chapter
It has been fulfilled in the church.
Okay,
in the
then what I
Christian
need
church.
you to do,
Yes,
there we go. We found
has
it.
been
Words
fulfilled.
don't mean words. So the ransomed that are coming back to Zion aren't coming back to Zion. It's a spiritual Zion. Words don't mean words anymore, except in verse
Well,
6. In 5 and 6, those words mean words because we need the blind to be blind, the deaf to be deaf, the lame to
this
be
not-
lame. We need the speechless to be speechless, but every other part of this verse is metaphor. Its words don't mean words. It's spiritual.
No,
Do you think
it's not.
that's
It's not metaphor.
do you think that's a consistent way to read a
This guy
text?
doesn't let me talk. You don't have consistency. You have no consistency.
No,
I just showed you that
do.
a prophecy was filled, and you say it's
It
a claim.
wasn't.
But these two,
I didn't say that.
It literally is. I
You
just
still
showed
have
you
no
John
idea what
9:32.
you still have no idea what my argument is yet. You have nothing.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't hold any
So-
weight to this fulfillment.
so
you guys
what
asked
I'm-
about fulfillment.
What
I'm showing you it,
asking
and you're
you
running.
right now is why should we believe that all of this chapter is spiritually interpreted except for the 2 verses you like?
See, are you sure you have a degree? That's like the most basic elementary.
It's actually
What you
not.
just- what
In
you
fact,
just said
when we
is like
go
low-
to when we go to Bible college and seminary, what they teach you is that context is king, and that you have to use the context and the genre of the passage to interpret it. You don't get to switch back and forth between spiritual and non-spiritual interpretation based on whether or not you like the words. So again, I'm going to ask you:
No,
is there a
it's because
reason other than your own theological purpose to go through this chapter and say that all of this is spiritually understood except for these 2 verses?
You talk a lot, but you haven't said anything.
I'm
You
asking
don't
you a
understand.
question. I'm
Yeah.
not asking.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
I'm-
saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm asking you to answer a question because we can't move forward until you answer the question. Your entire argument rests on the ability to say that some parts of this chapter are spiritually interpreted and some are literally interpreted. And I'm asking you, what would be a good reason to pick and choose which parts of these passages are spiritual and which parts of these passages are literal?
It's not picking and choosing.
Then what is it?
You have to understand. You have to understand the Christian operating system. Okay,
I do.
the operating system. You could go. No, you don't. Okay, what? Just tell me if
What is it?
if you understand the
what's
operating system. Give me the gospel.
What's
Just
the
something
practice?
basic that my kids know.
What's the practice of
What is the
hermeneutics?
gospel?
What's the practice
What's
of
the-
hermeneutics
what's the-
that you're employing right now to come with your interpretation?
But let me ask you a question. Let's go to basics. What's the Christian gospel?
That they default to nonsensical things. We're talking about how to interpret text right now.
What
and
is?
it sounds
I
like
want
you're
to
actually
understand.
unable to do so. So what I'm asking you is, what hermeneutical practice, what method are you using to determine that most of this chapter is spiritually interpreted except for verses 5 and 6?
And I'm asking you a basic question of your understanding of Christianity. What is the Christian
Again,
gospel? Can you
it's not
repeat it to me?
related.
You
It's
can't
not
answer.
related.
Yes, it is. Because I'm talking about an operating system.
First of all, I can answer, but I refuse to let you derail the conversation. What we're asking right now is how to interpret this passage. No one's here to worry about whether or not you think you have a superior understanding of the gospel. I'm an atheist. I don't care about the gospel. I care about what the text says, and it sounds like you don't. So I think what we'll probably do next, since you won't engage in actual context, is maybe we can talk. I think Derek and I would like to talk at length about whether or not other people have done these miracles. Would you be interested in whether or not other people have done these miracles?
But it's important here that it's recorded.
Would you be interested in hearing the other miracle stories that parallel Jesus's miracle stories?
Rilo, do you want to hear about a God 400 or 500 years before Jesus who is said on stone? It's literally chiseled in stone from the Epidaurus tablets that he performed healing of blind people, lame people, withered hands. People who are like on the brink of death and all sorts of ailments. We have over 140 miracles on those stone tablets. Would you like to hear about some of the miracles that are written on there? Or do you not really buy those stories that are written in a text in the ancient world because you don't have evidence to be able to buy that belief system that you're already not, convinced of to begin with?
No. Okay. I can hear it, but it's a waste of time because we're here.
It is a waste of time.
No, because why? Because you asked this particular question. You asked about Christ and prophecy. Okay.
Right.
So
right.
But let me just finish. So this is important to understand. I'm giving you specific, complex data.
Right.
That matches. This is.
Do you
understand?
Do you understand? Hold on, Rilo. This is not hard. Do you understand why Derek just said the things that he said? Do you not understand that Derek's words are addressing the topic? Because it sounds like you're just not listening. So Derek is specifically addressing the topic. It'd be nice if you could engage in dialogue with him because it's kind of important to the topic.
Let me respond, Derek. If you have eyewitness accounts and real-time data that correspond to those healings, not a claim from like writings that I'm talking about, real events that are being recorded. Because in the remote past, the way we establish events in the remote past is through accounts, eyewitness accounts. So you give me the eyewitness accounts of your gods, the specific time, the specific place, exactly how we have the exact dialogue and real-time data from these events where Jesus opened eyes of the blind. If you can reproduce that, I'm not talking about a claim that someone did, oh, this God did this, or this God did that. No, give me a real timeline of events with data. Okay, so if you have the data, show it.
I think it's important we go contemporaneous to the Gospels because Justin already brought this one up. We have 3 accounts by different historians about Vespasian, the emperor, healing a blind man and a withered hand of a man in the Serapeum temple in Egypt. We have historians. And by the way, I would contest your eyewitness claims about the Gospel of John. I would just say I would contest your eyewitness claims for the Gospel of John.
Well, Bart Ehrman would contest with you. Bart Ehrman contests with you. He's way smarter than you.
Bart Ehrman agrees with us.
Dude.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Bart Ehrman has been on Derek's channel many times. He obviously agrees with us.
Jesus is not a myth, dude.
No, that has nothing to do with eyewitness. Hold on, what's happening here? Rilo.
This guy's out of his mind.
Bro, what is going on, man? Like, how does an eyewitness account contesting the eyewitness account that you are trying to attribute to the Gospel of John, which Bart Ehrman absolutely does not agree with? I know this, and not only him, but the guy who actually works in his office. I could call him right now on the cell phone, Hugo Mendez, who's worked with Bart for 15 years in the same office, who also wrote a book.
The divinity of the Gospel of John.
But listen,
the divinity.
Dude, like I'm saying, you're not listening though, and then you jump from that to mythology. Like, that's me and Bart agree. There was a guy, he was mythologized. What did he do? That has nothing to do with the eyewitness claims of the Gospel of John. That's what I'm saying. The Gospel of John's not an eyewitness account. So what you have is an ancient gospel. You have an ancient text that claims in it a story that says this guy performed miracles. And I'm saying we have way more miracle accounts for a god called Asclepius, who had his own temple in just one location in the ancient world. According to the geographer Pausanias, there were 12 tablets. On each tablet, there were 70 miracles each. Today, we only have 2 of those.
Unless you produce the evidence, it's really hard for me to just believe you.
I understand. It'd be very difficult to give you all of the actual miracle claims that are written by academics who've deciphered the Greek Epidaurian tablets that we have today.
I've got them, by the way.
Oh, go ahead. Bring them up.
Yeah, I've got a copy of the tablets, so it's actually not a problem.
Let's do it.
Let me zoom in so that we can.
In the meantime, while he searches that,
as it turns out, there are actually quite a few healing stories. Ambrosia of Athens, blind of one eye, she came as a suppliant to the god. As she walked about in the sanctuary, she laughed at some of the cures as incredible and impossible that the lame and the blind should be healed merely by seeing a dream. In her sleep, she had a vision. It seemed to her that the god stood by her and said that he would cure her, but that in payment, he would ask her to dedicate to the sanctuary a silver pig as a memorial of her ignorance. After saying this, he cut the deceased eyeball and poured in some drug. When day came, she walked out sound. What about that? It's almost like we got a bunch of stories of people being healed by Asclepius.
Yeah, can I respond to that?
Sure.
Can I respond to that? That's like a kindergarten version of, like, that's like the worst thing I ever heard. I just asked you
be specific.
for a timeline of real historical
Why is this not
events.
real? Why is this not real?
Do you know the story of Lazarus? Do you know
Why is
how
this
many
not real?
details are in that story? Who's
Why is
there?
this not real? Why is
Because
this not real?
That's a kindergarten. Because it's a kid.
I can't hear you. Say it louder. I can't hear you. Speak louder.
Well, if you stop, dude, if you have some, why don't atheists have manners, dude?
I asked you to speak up. I want to hear you.
I don't. Your like mockery is like so weak sauce, dude. Weak sauce.
That is the first thing you've picked up on this entire conversation is you actually catching me making fun of you in real time. So what I'm asking you simply is, why is this account not true?
Do you understand how events in the remote past are?
I'm just asking you for a reason.
Look, there's circumstantial evidence.
He's never gonna say it.
Hold on, with circumstantial evidence with like variations, with slight variation. So you have to have eyewitness accounts that are telling these stories. That's how we
have eyewitness accounts.
No, you don't. You have a
we do
claim.
actually.
You don't
These are eyewitness
people
accounts
there
that were put
they are
in
testimonies.
one of the temples, one of the healing houses.
These are testimonials from people in the temples, and they were giving their testimony to the priest who inscribed them on stone.
Okay.
So why don't you accept those miracles?
First of all, can you guys open to John 10:33 real quick? I want to show you because it matters to the understanding of the remote past. Now, circumstantial evidence is how these things are produced, and stories are able to be put together, just like a court of law. That's how things happen. So if you have multiple accounts with data, all I heard was like 2 sentences. This is not data. It was just a claim.
Okay, pull up
Justin,
can you pull those back up? Because there's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them.
It's actually hundreds of different healing accounts inside the text. Right. You're welcome to get the text yourself. In fact, let me see how many are in this particular edition.
A total
128.
Yeah. I think there's a total of 140.
And where's the manuscript for whatever you're reading? Where is the manuscript?
It's stone.
The original manuscript.
It's inscribed
in
stone.
It's
easy.
Where?
It's in one of the sanctuaries of I believe it's.
I think they're in a museum now.
So where's the stone? Where's the actual stone?
It's in a museum. Why do you think that?
Are you 100% sure it's in a museum? Which museum?
Where do you think the translation came from, bro?
Because this is important. You guys want to talk about manuscripts and evidence.
Where do you think the text came from?
I want to know where the original manuscript, where the original stone is. What museum is it in?
First of all,
now it doesn't matter when you guys are making a claim.
Sir, but you're setting a precedent you can't fulfill. You don't have a single original manuscript of the Bible, so asking for the original manuscript of this is
what we have
absurd.
is good enough for our Ehrman.
No, you don't. So again, we have the actual stone. It's in the Archaeological Museum of Epidaurus. That's where it's located right now. You can go see it with your own 2 blind eyeballs if you want.
I got an image to show.
Oh yeah, go for it, buddy.
Let me just show this because I'm trying my best on the spot, which was not something I was thinking a prophecy show was going to end up bringing up. But I think it's worth him at least laying his eyes on this so that he can take the time to actually go look at the Epidaurus tablets himself. There are academics who translated this Greek so that you could read the accounts of the miracles. I'm trying to zoom in, but it's zooming out. This
Derek, so you guys are telling. Can I just respond? Can I say something? You guys are telling me you've been making these claims for how long? And you had to Google what museum. You didn't even know what museum was in.
Why?
Come on, dude. This is a joke.
What museum is P1? What museum is P1 in? Hey, what museum is P1 and P52 in?
I'm in medicine. I'm a nobody.
Oh, all this.
I'm talking to you. I just schooled you. You don't even know where the stone is. You've been basing your whole career on this.
Rilo, let me ask you a question. So you have to know exactly where every tablet, the Epic of Gilgamesh tablet, the latest version, you have to know what museum that's in order to make the claim that Genesis is lifting potential antecedent texts from Gilgamesh or Atrahasis. You have to know the exact museum in order to make that claim. I don't get it. Like, yes, I don't know everything there is to know about the Epidaurus tablets. In fact, I barely.
Well, maybe you should learn about it if you're using it.
I know PhDs. Would you want people who want to understand medical stuff to go to a PhD? I'm trying to tell you, PhDs have highlighted these miracles. There are hundreds of miracles, and that's only with what we have preserved. That's why I was trying to tell you earlier before I got cut off that in the ancient world, the geographer Pausanias said there were 12 tablets. We only have 2 left. Guess how many miracles are on those 2? 140 miracles. Imagine how many miracles we don't have about this one God. And guess what? This is at one temple. Epidaurus. Asclepius temples were all over the Mediterranean world. We have probably, if you count those 12, and let's just say the 2 have
300 of them.
Dude, it's so many. Like, this God was for 500 years healing the blind, the sick, the lame, the deaf, the dumb. Everything under the sun he had been doing according to their testimonies. But you don't accept those testimonies.
What you just gave me was not a testimony.
There's no way over a phone call.
There was no data. No, there was
we just gave you the testimony. We just gave it to you.
Data.
What is
data? There's no data there.
It's literally fucking written in stone.
It's in stone, dude.
Healing testimonies.
Originals.
In stone. We have the original fucking stone.
Not
and you're
copies of copies of copies.
The delusions are wild.
So at this point, because you guys didn't even know what museum it is, I'm not going to take your word for it.
I would run too. Yeah.
Next time, learn what museum it's in before you cite something.
Yes, sir. Will do.
What museum can we find the first syringe in?
Dude, I'm a nobody Christian. I'm a nobody.
No, I said syringe. You're a medical doctor.
Asking a medical
museum
question.
Has the first syringe? What museum has the first syringe?
I don't study the history of medicine. I take
what are
care
you, a
of
fucking chiropractor? You're a real doctor?
Patients. I take care of HIV infected patients. I take care of the sickest of the sick.
So then you don't know what museum houses the first syringe?
You just cited it. I'm not
I would not go to this guy as a doctor. I'm going to Asclepius. Take me to Asclepius.
Yeah. Well,
listen, Derek, can you go to John 10:33 real quick so I can just show you something? How specific complex information works and why your worldview is falling apart. You guys don't have the data.
Actually, you don't even
don't
know.
have the data like this.
We actually do. We have lots of data, and we've
Can you go to
demonstrated
John
that
10:33
literally in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm there though. Just saying. I'm actually playing nice here. I'm at John 10:33. The Jews answered, "It is not for a good work that we are stoning you or going to stone you, but for blasphemy, because you though only a human or man are making yourself God." So, do you believe the Jews are accurate here? Do you believe the Jews are right?
That's my question to you. These are the enemies of Christ. Why?
Right. So you trust them.
Why are they saying this?
But you trust the Jews here that he's claiming to be God, right?
Because it corresponds to John 8:58, where Jesus says he uses the name of the true God. He uses the I am in Exodus 3:14. So there's a correspondence. You don't have this correspondence in data. You don't
know what correspondence means. You're using that word wrong.
Yeah.
I doubt you finished grad school.
Yes, it corresponds. Information links. It's interlinking.
Oh.
It's interpersonal.
Yeah, that's what the New Testament's trying to do. That's the whole point of this show. It's trying to tie back. But I would recommend checking out some of the scholarship that actually points out that the enemies of Christ here are misunderstanding Jesus like they have in every other context. But this one time Christians interpret this text, oh, he's claiming to be God. Oh, so the Jews are right this time. And if you just read every other time, they're not right. So this is a complex matter. But by the way, if you just read in the Greco-Roman material, you'll find out Asclepius was a son of a god, Apollo. His mother was a mortal woman impregnated and had a similar divine birth as we see with Jesus. My thing is that's all out the window. It's
that means it can't be a derivative. If he has a mother, it can't be a derivative of our system. Our operating system is interpersonal love, not generation from like physical means. We have eternal relational love.
I don't understand what that.
So
both Jesus
our God is love.
Jesus and all these other gods that I'm describing have mortal moms. Like these demigods.
And it can't be. Then it can't. No.
Gilgamesh had a mortal mother and a deified father.
Biologically produced. Everybody knows Greek gods always were hot for like human women.
Nope, not every case.
Yes, they had
not every case.
Nope.
Even I know that, and I don't know anything about it.
You don't know that.
I know. That's why you don't know. You just admitted you don't know, but you said you know something, and then you said you don't know. My friend, just
our model. If you want to, let me express our model. Our model.
I would like to talk about Jesus' mother though when you get a chance.
Okay, just let me say. Our model, Christian model, is love. Okay, God.
No, that's not the case. You're not modeling that at all tonight.
1 John 4:16 says God is love. That's His nature.
Oh, no.
Love.
No,
you
you're
don't
not
have
modeling
that.
love tonight.
None of your gods are love.
You don't have that. The irony of you shouting through your phone at us that we don't have love is crazy.
Oh, I'm not shouting at you.
Hold on.
Bro. Jesus loves you. And
Sorry,
I
was choking on the fucking irony of what's happening right now.
So it's about the model, okay? The model is love. It's interpersonal relational.
No, it's not love.
You don't have interpersonal relational love.
The model is
eternity.
Love me or I will light you on fire for eternity. Is that love? You think ultimatums of
that's why Jesus said when he was hanging on the cross,
love?
He said,
what a
Father,
crazy
forgive them.
thing to believe that you think it's love to light somebody on fire for all of eternity.
Jesus, who is God in our model, was hanging on the cross and cries out, "Forgive them,
Do you have children? Would you light any of your children on fire?
No, we're not child sacrificers like all the others.
Do you think it would be loving to light your children on fire?
Okay. Dude.
Sounds like you're caught.
With you, bro. I want to work with
sounds like you don't.
You're like,
but
so elementary.
But Rilo, it is a fundamental problem. You're saying God is love. He's questioning the fundamental premise that God is love based on the fact that he's going to eternally punish mortal beings for making these minuscule actions in this very finite and very short existence we have, but he's going to make the punishment and justice eternal. And it's so long and horrific. Like,
Derek, if you have children,
Yeah.
If you have children and somebody hurt your child or did something, God forbid, so bad, you are worse than God. You would want them to be in. You would want them to be in prison, right?
Nope.
No.
I would not want to put a child in prison, and I sure as fuck wouldn't light him
if someone hurt your child.
I don't want children placed in prisons.
Yes, and now you're lining up with the understanding of Christ, who said that
I'm not.
Children are the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. They're the highest. Children are the highest.
Christ will literally light children on fire. In fact, in Mark chapter 7, he advocated for the killing of children. He chastised the Pharisees in Mark chapter 7 and Matthew chapter 15 for not killing children that cursed their mother and father.
No, he showed their hypocrisy. But what he did say was that children see the face of God, and they have the angels. They're always
to do what?
They're always in the presence of God.
The hypocrisy of what?
To pick certain decrees for Moses.
Yeah, exactly. To not follow some of Moses' decrees. He wanted them to follow
Moses' decrees. So you have a problem with
the
Jews, with Moses? Go talk to Jews about Moses.
I don't know if you know this. Jesus was a Jew. So what I'm saying is that Jesus.
Oh, now he's a Jew, but the Talmud said
that he won't actually let me. Now it's got it. This is why you keep getting muted. Imagine having this guy at Thanksgiving dinner. This is wild. So what I'm saying is, I agree with you. The Pharisees were being hypocritical because they've got the laws of Moses, and they had other oral traditions that made it so that the law of Moses was nullified. And the complaint that Jesus levied in Matthew 15 and Mark chapter 7 is that here's one example of how your human tradition, the tradition of the elders as it's called, has nullified the commands of God. And then he goes all the way back to Exodus chapter 21, where it talks about having to kill the children if they curse mother and father. And he says, listen, you guys aren't doing this. You're being hypocrites. So what that means is that Jesus' example of them being hypocrites is that they should actually be killing their children.
Dude, Jesus said, let the little children come to me and do not hinder them. And he said that their presence, God's presence, the angel's presence is always around children, and that they're the greatest, the highest in the kingdom. God? And if you don't become like a child, Derek, yes, you heard the Jews.
Oh,
they just told you.
Did Jesus give the laws?
John 10:33 just confirmed.
But buddy, these are all fucking rhetorical questions. Let's answer them. Did Jesus give the laws in the Hebrew Bible, or did Yahweh give them?
Jesus is Yahweh. He said it in John 8:58.
Okay, so then what that means is that Jesus says to kill the children. Whoever strikes father or mother shall be put to death. Whoever curses father or mother should be put to death. Jesus says those words if Jesus is God. Do you think that's loving?
Yeah, it's important. I think it's more loving the atheist position where you guys.
I love the stutter. The stutter. Rather than answering the question, brain misfiring. Oops.
Do you understand what he just said, Rilo?
No, Derek, I'm going to hand it over to you. I got to use the restroom real quick.
Look, Justin.
It's a critical law.
God. You're saying Jesus is God. He's the God of the Old Testament. The God of the Old Testament gave these laws. These laws are not very loving. His point is, and he's trying to get you to see, do you think that that's okay? And do you think that's loving? Those kind of laws that you're saying God is love. So you understand the logic.
Okay, let's answer that with no, logic doesn't exist anyways. It's metaphysical. It doesn't exist in a materialist worldview. So I don't even know why you're relying on logic. But anyways, if you go to Hebrews,
they're written down in the material world. We can read them. We don't have to pretend.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyways, so in Hebrews it says the law is not the true reality. The true reality is found in Christ. The true reality of this invisible, extra dimensional, like meaning outside, from another dimension, outside time and space.
But you didn't answer the question Justin just posed.
Christ is the reality of that God, because the law is a mirror for sin, which brings death. So you have to. This There's a whole complicated like framework,
but
horizon that we have to paint. You have to understand.
Rilo, why would God command people to stone their kids? Stone their kids. And then you turn around and go, that God is the God I worship called Jesus, and he's loving. Can I ever tell someone to stone their children? And then you tell me, oh, by the way, I am perfect love. I am love. That's the issue. And guess what? You're not the only Christian who has a struggle here. Marcion.
No, I'm not struggling. I just, you're not letting me talk.
So why would
it's not the reality of God. It's not the reality of God. Okay? And it's not the reality of God is Christ, who said love your enemy, who kicked it with prostitutes. He was chilling with prostitutes.
He also said murder your kids.
People. No, he didn't, dude. Come on, bro.
Well, who said it in Exodus 21?
Nobody in the world. Nobody in the world is cooler than some.
Who said it?
Oh my God, we went over that.
But you admit Jesus said that, right, in the law.
Listen. The Jewish nation entered voluntarily into this.
Never say it. We need a name.
Yeah,
who said it?
Yahweh. Jesus is Yahweh.
So Jesus said it.
Yahweh said it.
That was easy.
Yeah,
okay.
Jesus gave the law to Moses.
That's what we needed to hear. Okay, so Jesus said to kill your children.
But, dude, oh my gosh, it's so elementary. Jesus.
I know, that's why you can't catch it.
No, because you're not. There's no one cooler than hanging out with prostitutes.
I have a notepad actually. Let me write down some
water into wine at a party.
Because it sounds like you believe in logical premises. We'll say premise number 1. This is easy. You can write this down. Premise number 1: God gave the law in Exodus 21.
God is love. God is
adorable.
Love.
Premise number 2 is that Jesus is God. Do we agree?
Let me give you this.
Yes.
God is
love.
Number 2.
For you to
God is not the law.
I'm waiting for
the law is not love.
Yes or no to the premises. In fact, I'll share.
So then, why would a loving God give the law then, Rilo? I mean, you just said the law isn't love, but then he gave it. Why can a perfect loving being really give something that isn't love? I don't get it. It makes no sense.
Give me a second. I'm going to share. I want to share my notepad with them. Hopefully, maybe if we're lucky, we'll have a moment where we can have a little bit of linear interaction. We'll see. It may or may not work. We'll have to find out. So, Rilo, I'm going to unmute you. I just want you to engage in a couple premises for us and see if maybe we can make some progress. Premise number 1 is God gave the law in Exodus 21. Do we agree or disagree?
Yeah, but the syllogism is incorrect.
Okay, so it's not incorrect yet because there's no conclusion. So premise
the law
number
is not
2,
God's nature.
Premise number 2 is that Jesus is God. Yes or no? Keep in mind the law of identity is going to cook you if you say no.
Of course. But the
awesome.
problem is the law is not the nature of God.
The conclusion just naturally follows.
Oh, you're talking about nature.
Based on the law of identity, which is that Jesus gave the law in Exodus 21. That's just the law of identity. That's simple logic. You're the one that said you liked logic and we didn't have it.
But the law is not the nature of God.
It's sound and valid.
Dude. We're talking about nature. The nature of God is love.
It's not.
And it is. No, there's no other God that hung on a cross.
The Bible disagrees with you. What does the Bible say is love?
Well,
1 Corinthians 13. What's it say?
Yeah, but that's humanly interrelational love. The true love is found in Romans. So let me give you the definition.
When the Bible says God is love, it's a different love than what Paul says in
This is how we know love. That Christ laid down his life for us.
Two different kinds of love now.
No, dude.
Is love?
What was your name, by the way?
Does love harm? Does love harm?
Romans 13:10 says love does no harm.
I love how he'll never. Okay,
13:10.
Exactly. Does
13:10? Pull it up.
Does love keep a record of wrongdoings?
Dude, you know 1 Corinthians. Props.
Does love keep a record of wrongdoings? The answer
no,
is
and that's why.
No, according to Paul. There we go. Is Jesus keeping a record of your wrongdoings? Is there a book maybe where all your wrongdoings are being tracked?
No, dude.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
All
Are you
your
truly a
deeds
scholar?
are going to be recorded. Yes.
No, absolutely
Yes.
not.
How is
Dude.
God holding you accountable for all of your wrongs?
He didn't even hold his own crucifiers accountable. What are you talking about?
Do you not know where the Bible says that you're going to be judged according to all of your works?
Yeah, but works is something different. So we're talking
Wrongs?
about nature that is healed and regenerated through Christ.
I don't think you know
wait,
what.
let me just.
When you're being judged according to your works, you're being judged according to what's actually happening, like what you've done. That's why in Hosea it talks about your
told
sins
me I'm mentally ill.
You definitely are a little bit off. I know quite a few people that would fall into this range. I don't think I said that though.
Spirit. Whatever, dude. Let me just give you the definition. It said, "While we were still sinners, Christ died for us." This is how we know love.
We all know the story.
So if he'll forgive the people who killed him, why can't he just forgive everybody at this point? Why do anyone have to punish and go to hell for our eternity?
There is forgiveness. It's already there.
There's not actually. No,
it's eternal and present, and for the past. That's why he went down to Abraham's bosom. He took even the ones who died.
So everyone that was at the cross became a Christian and followed and worshiped Jesus. Because you're just saying out here, forgiveness is out here. Are you saying everyone is forgiven and there is no hell?
It works like this. There's the New Testament, for those who are not fully understanding at that time, there's a law within us. That law, the Christian law, is love. We don't have the law of Moses. Our law is love. That's the royal law.
Do people go to hell today? Do people go to hell in your beliefs?
The people who want to go to hell, who don't want to be in the presence of love.
So I just don't have to go? If I don't want to?
No, you don't.
Oh, that's easy. Okay.
But why would you want
me and Justin don't want to go
then? Yeah, that's easy. Fuck. All right.
I don't want to go.
Well, Christ loves you both, but you don't want that love.
No.
Dude,
we don't.
You don't want love. Love is weakness for you, for atheists. My parents came from a communist.
Not the case.
My wife's in the other room. Okay, she may not be in the mood to do the freaky tonight, but I'm gonna go force my love on her to show her how much I love her, even if she doesn't want to. And
your understanding of love is
comply. Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
Love is freedom. Love is freedom. Love produces freedom. You don't have freedom. You don't understand that. You don't understand
if
love.
The alternative is being burned alive.
Love produces freedom.
But that's why in
Galatians 5:14 it says,
you don't have freedom if the alternative to loving Jesus is being burned alive.
You have an alternative, right? Accept my love or else. That's coercive love. That is coercive.
Hold on. No. Love is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot. That's why the Islamic world has no freedom, because their God is not love.
How the fuck is Islam in this conversation now? How are Buddhists?
Because we're referencing freedom.
For someone in the medical field, I cannot believe you've gone this long undiagnosed. This is terrifying. Buddy, can you stay on task for 5 seconds? Listen, I've got fucking ADHD and I can stay on task. This shouldn't be hard.
That's funny. Good joke. That was actually pretty funny. All right. So look, the Christian world is the only world where freedom has any understanding. You can't find freedom in the atheist communist world. My parents came from Eastern Europe.
And
they came from a place with no freedom.
Why is there no freedom in atheism? Why is there no freedom in atheism?
Because metaphysics. Because you have no love.
Metaphysics?
There's no love. Love is non-particle.
So then
there's no love in the brain.
To light your children on fire. It's loving to light your children on fire then?
Yeah, who said people?
I love it when he gets really quiet and then just doesn't answer the question. All right, Rilo, here's what we're going to do, because this has been a really interesting conversation, but it's clear that you only came to preach. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to overtalk you anymore. I'm going to give you a full minute to preach whatever gospel you want to preach, and then we got to move on to the next guest that's been waiting, okay?
sorry. I just want your viewers to know how much God loves you. I grew up in the.
Oh, there. Sorry, my finger slipped. I didn't mean to. Oh, I guess he didn't get his full minute.
Look, that was a fun ride. Okay, that was fun. Really loud, but fun.